why do atheists reject the existence of any kind of deity? Here I will attempt to give 4 common reasons which many people use to explain their non-belief in any god or gods. Personally, I consider all 4 of these reasons to be influential, though not exhaustive, in determining my atheism and in influencing the way in which I view the world. Reason number 1 is lack of evidence for God's existence. Simply put, atheists do not see any kind of evidence, proof, warrant, or demonstration that suggests that any kind of deity might actually exist. Atheists do not observe any phenomena that can only be explained by invoking a deity. If every aspect of existence, from atoms to morality, can be accounted for without any mention of a god, then belief in a god is simply superfluous and adds nothing substantive to one's understanding. A vital principle, Occam's razor, states that entities should not be multiplied beyond necessity, and that all other things equal, the simplest explanation for a phenomenon is the correct one. So far, atheists have been unable to find any phenomenon for whose explanation the concept of a god is indispensable. And of course, numerous phenomena have been suggested by theists throughout the ages, anything from the origin of life to the source of morality. But atheists have been able to find scientific, philosophical explanations for these questions and many others. The second reason why many people adhere to atheism is a lack of, quote, faith. And I use the term faith with caution because this term has multiple meanings, many of which atheists do not reject. Atheists can and often do exhibit faith in the sense of trust in other people, or in institutions, or in natural phenomena. They also exhibit faith in the sense of a belief in some kind of idea. They do not, however, exhibit faith in the sense of belief that is not based on proof. This is one definition of faith that is provided by dictionary.com. Many religious individuals will readily admit that there exists no evidence for the existence of any kind of God. They will then claim that they believe in a God nonetheless, because they possess this faculty of faith. The only thing an atheist can say in response is that he possesses no such faculty, and therefore cannot make the leap to the same conclusion that the religious person makes. A third common reason for atheism is a lack of convincing arguments for God's existence. And this lack of convincing arguments, of course, has the majority of theists to blame for it. Atheists are not necessarily closed to the possibility of ever believing in a God, but they require that they be presented with a convincing reason for why they should. Once again, it is possible that anything I say is incorrect, but it is necessary for you, if you believe that I am incorrect, to persuade me otherwise, and to do it in a manner that actually convinces me. While many religious individuals have sought to present arguments for belief, atheists have largely not found them compelling. This does not mean that theists ought to stop trying. Rather, they should recognize which arguments have failed to convince atheists, despite having been tried time and again. August Berkshire offers a useful list of some of these in his 21 Unconvincing Arguments for God. It is an essay that I advise all of you to read, and it is listed in the links accompanying the comments for this presentation. When theists begin to present new arguments that encourage atheists to approach the question of the existence of God in a hitherto unexplored manner, they can be sure that many atheists will give such ideas serious consideration. If you present something new, something that I haven't heard before, or even a new understanding of what the term God means, perhaps an understanding that removes some of the apparent or existent logical contradictions in prior versions or interpretations of this term, then you will certainly have my ear, and the ear of many other atheists as well, and at least there can be a constructive discussion there. A fourth reason why many people choose atheism is a desire to avoid rituals and institutional entanglements. Most religious systems are not merely networks of abstract and interrelated beliefs. They also entail adherence to a specific social hierarchy and a highly particular set of customs, rituals, and ceremonies. Many atheists simply do not wish to recognize the authority of any particular group of men who call themselves priests or pastors. They do not wish to undertake a certain set of dietary prohibitions or regulations regarding how they must or must not spend certain days of the week. Atheists tend to dislike entangling abstract beliefs with concrete institutions, as the institutions will often do great discredit to even the very principles they claim to uphold. It is true that a person who wishes to avoid such institutional entanglements is still in theory free to believe in the existence of some kind of deity. Benjamin Franklin tried to do this. However, most gods are so constructed, and of course atheists believe that gods are human constructs, as to require highly concrete and particular forms of obedience, such as attendance at a church or temple, the offering of certain material sacrifices, the singing of specific songs, the uttering of specific sequences of words, and adherence to extremely thorough prescriptions governing everything from birth to marriage to the conduct of meals. An individual is free to invent a god that does not require such forms of worship, but at that point he would be quite explicitly creating a deity, not finding an already existing deity outside of himself. It is as difficult to believe in the existence of a god of one's own imagining as it is to think that a fictional character that one has just put into a story actually lives and breathes. And I myself have been an author of novels and short stories, and from personal experience I can tell you that it is impossible to convince oneself of the reality of the characters whose existence one has just written into a page. To think that these characters whom one has just concocted out of one's head are real entities would require at least some kind of doubtful sanity. And I believe the same holds for trying to invent a god of one's own. So many atheists, not finding a suitable institutional structure accompanying a particular religion, or simply wishing to avoid institutional entanglements of any kind, will just reject the existence of a god altogether. Once again, these four reasons are not exhaustive, and they do not explain the motivations of all atheists. However, I do believe that they are significant in the thought processes of many atheists, and I believe that both sides of the discussion regarding religion will benefit from considering these reasons and addressing them.